My life wasn't perfect, yeah, I know that now. When it came crashing down, all I know is that I need you around. When it comes crashing down, all I need is not to feel so much alone. So step inside my zone, baby, you can give me everything I want. Everything I want. Always dance and sing. You're captivating me. All I need is to know that I'm in your heart and never be apart. All I need is not to feel so much alone. So step inside my zone, baby. I can give you everything you want. Everything you want.
Spend another second with my brain. Gotta get up and get out, but there's a problem. Every time I go outside, I see your face. Wish you could be here right now, lay here by my side. All day, all day, all day. Tell me it's gonna be alright. We gon' work it out. No way, no way, no way. The floor is cold, it chills my bones. I'm all alone, still missing you. It's been a month since you've been gone. I'm all alone, still missing you. Where you at? Where'd you go, babe? Can't you see that I need company? I'm losing it, losing my way. And it's you plus me. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Honestly, can't you just call me? Where you at? Where'd you go, babe? Let me fix my mistakes. Wish you could be here right now, lay here by my side, all day, all day, all day. Tell me it's gonna be alright, we gon' work it out. No way, no way, no way, yeah. The floor is cold, it chills my bones. I'm all alone, stand next to you. It's been a month since you've been gone. I'm all alone, stand next to you. Yeah. The floor is cold, it chills my bones. I'm all alone, stand next to you. It's been a month since you've been gone. I'm all alone, stand next to
Lately I've been feeling like somebody else. Heard you're moving on with someone new. My friends keep telling me that it was for the best, but I don't know if I will make it through. Cause every morning I wish you were here with me, watching the sunlight fill my room. Falling asleep at night, thinking about you and me. Why did you have to be so cruel? I guess I should have known it from the start, but baby, I was so caught up in you, picking up the pieces of my heart. Oh baby, let me hold you, I just wanna hold you. Girl, I know we said some things we didn't mean, but thought that we could figure this one out. Hate the fact that our love now is separate, but maybe someday you will realize. Cause every morning I wish you were here with me, watching the sunlight fill my room. Falling asleep at night, thinking about you and me. Why did you have to be so cruel? I guess I should have known it from the start, but baby, I was so caught up in you, picking up the pieces of my heart. Oh baby, let me hold you, I just wanna hold you. I guess I should have known it from the start, but baby, I was so caught up in you, picking up the pieces of my heart. Oh baby, let me hold you, I just wanna hold you. Cause every morning I wish you were here with me, watching the sunlight fill my room. I guess I should have known it from the start, but baby, I was so caught up in you, picking up the pieces of my heart. Oh baby, let me hold you, I just wanna hold you. I guess I should have known it from the start.
away, take it away. Feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in I've been working overtime like crazy, just to show you how I really feel. Haven't had a single day of duty, just to show you that my love is real. Do you even care when I stay? Oh baby, can you even tell I'm under your spell? Oh baby, I just wanna take another look at you, so our eyes can finally meet. I just wanna take another look at you, maybe that's when you will see that I'm falling hopelessly in love with you, 'cause you're making me complete. I just wanna take another look at you, will you let me? Oh, I hope that someday you will notice every little thing I do for you.
Mic check 1 2.
Like the time I went to buy you flowers, 'cause you said your favorite one is blue.
What up, Mike?
Do you
What up, Thomas?
even care when I stay?
Salute.
Oh baby, can you even tell I'm under your spell? Oh baby, I just wanna take another look at you, so our eyes can finally meet. I just wanna take another look at you, maybe that's when you will see that I'm falling hopelessly in love with you, 'cause you're making me complete. I just wanna take another look at you, will you let me?
All right. What's this dust doing on my microphone, man?
I just wanna take another
I don't like no
look at you,
dust.
so our eyes can finally meet. I just
Everything
wanna
clean.
take another look at you, maybe that's when you will see that I'm falling hopelessly in love with you, 'cause you're making me complete.
Good evening, everybody. I
I just
appreciate you
wanna
guys
take
being here. What up, TikTok?
another look at you, will you let me?
Let the people file in on TikTok. What's happening, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of High Value Shan, where not only Shan a high value man, so is the content. Appreciate you guys being here this evening. We have an educational evening tonight. You know, that's what I typically reserve my Wednesdays for. Let's see. That's what I typically reserve my Wednesdays for. All right. Audio's good.
Excuse that quick little feedback. Let me run over to the talk of Tick. Let me run over to the talk of Tick and see. Mic check 1 2. Yep, TikTok is good. We are Gucci. All right. Appreciate you guys being here, man. Well, you know what? There's something I can do. Let me go over here. And then I can take the volume all the way down. Keep this going right here. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. Another episode of High Value Shan, where we're going to do a little bit of education tonight. We're going to do a little bit of education tonight. I typically talk about the things that you can look up yourself. You can educate yourself on, but you just don't feel like it. You just don't want to. You're like, man, I don't want to do that. I'm going to listen to Shan. Shan going to break it down for me. I don't got to Google it. Shan did the Googling for me. Why do I need to look up and learn anything that Sergeant is going to teach? And that is the beauty of the internet as we have it today. You can get information from everywhere. You can get it from social media. You can get it from strangers that you otherwise would never meet in real life on YouTube. It's a wonderful time to be alive. Shout out to you guys over at TikTok. I see you following in. What up, Kenise? I see y'all pulling up. What up, Yolanda? Good to have you here. What's up, Airborne? Airborne Ranger? Airborne Ranger? Appreciate you guys being here, man. Listen, do you even know what you believe politically? Hey, Rosha. Do you know what you believe politically? Or are you following what your mama told you? This show was on the heels of the show we just did. I was talking about men should date conservative women. And I realized some men, and kind of caught wind of that in the discussion, and was asked. I realized that some men, I caught the wind in the discussion and was asked. How do I even know what I believe? Because I believe a little bit of this, I believe a little bit of that. Some people believe in, early deletion of children in the womb. Others believe in pro-life. Some believe in capital, punishment, the death penalty. Some say, nope, everybody deserves to live no matter what they do. No matter what they do to another human being. No matter if they're crazy or not. Some people believe that we should tax the rich. They make too much money. They don't need that much money. Why do you make so much money? Is it fair for you to be a gazillionaire? One person, a gazillionaire, like all that money? How much do you need in life? Where there's people that are in need, like there's people that are not really sure what they are when it comes to their political beliefs. So I'm gonna break it down tonight. I'm gonna explain to you guys the political beliefs. Oh, you know what I'm noticing? Okay, I'm gonna have to fix this. Hold on one second, you guys. This is something I'm gonna have to fix later, because this is not fitting.
Welcome to the real world.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you joining, brother. You know what? Hold on one second, guys. There's something I want to fix over here. For instance, this photo. It's not looking right. We building this plane as we fly it, guys. I'm noticing that this is not fitting on an iPhone 15 Plus. I'm gonna make it even smaller. What's up with that? Damn, it still ain't fitting. I don't like that. Hold on, guys. We're gonna get into it, but I gotta have my shit together. My shit gotta be right. I gotta be right. All right, that's about a good fit. Now, I want to come up here, and I want my camera. How's that? See, I'm at TikTok making some adjustments, y'all. TikTok got me not really fitting good. There we go. Let's try that. Is that a little better? All right, TikTok, hold on. Bear with me, TikTok. Then we're gonna move this up to right there. And then we're gonna move this up to right there. That's not really a good look. Let's move this down some on TikTok. Let's move this down. And then let's move me down. How does this look? Yeah, there we go, TikTok. That's better. Because you got all this text and shit up here. You got all these things above my head. And it's got it on my face. And we don't need that. In fact, we can move this down even a little bit more. Right? And we're going to move this down a little bit more. And then we're going to move this down some. And then this is too big, so we're going to make this smaller, like that. Look, we got to fix it now, y'all. We fix it now so we don't have to worry about this kind of stuff later on in life. There we go. And then we will move this up some, right there. How's that? All right. Wait a minute. This is not centered. All right, that's what we're gonna rock with tonight. Let me lock this down, and then I'll see how it looks tomorrow. And if it all looks okay, then that's what we'll keep. It's just how that's gonna go. Lock, 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 lock. All right, guys. We are gonna talk about the difference. You guys have heard it, communist. But what is a communist? Fascist. Oh, you're a fascist. It's a big buzzword lately. A lot of people that are following politics is calling other people that's following politics fascists. You're a fascist. Oh, he's a fascist. A capitalist. America is a capitalistic country. Do you guys know what a capitalist is? You will tonight. A Marxist. What is a Marxist? What is a socialist? Do you, if you're watching the show tonight, if you're watching me on YouTube, everybody at YouTube, shout out to everybody at YouTube, shout out to everybody at TikTok. Do you know what you believe politically? Are you a capitalist? Are you a socialist? Are you something else entirely? What up, Chaos? It's good to have you here, brother. You know, most people throw around these terms without a clue what they mean. But we're going to fix that tonight. We're going to fix that tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to define these major political ideologies. I'm going to explain them to you. So when you hear somebody call somebody a fascist, you'll know exactly what it means. What up, Lions? Lion says, what made me interested in this topic? You know why? It's because there's a lot of people that, well, 2 nights ago, I did a show called Men Should Date Women That Are Conservatives. And then some men was like, I'm not sure if I'm a conservative. Like, what's a conservative? There's a lot of people that don't know what conservatives is, Lions. You know, Lions, there's a lot of people that don't know what conservative is. Now, if they don't know what a conservative is or a liberal is, then they damn sure don't know what a Marxist is or a socialist. They don't understand what communism is. They don't know what a fascist is. And so I realized that a lot of people, especially when you're on X, you know, Twitter, X, depending on what you want to call it, there's a lot of people that, you know, it's a lot of infighting, people going back and forth. Today, the liberals hate the conservatives. The conservatives hate the liberals. You got people, hey, Lions, do you know anybody that married somebody where their political beliefs kind of went different ways, and now you got a husband and a wife, one is a conservative and one is a liberal, and they not fucking, they don't love each other no more. They want divorce because I can't believe you voted for Trump. I can't believe you voted for Kamala. Are you crazy? Like, who am I living with? You know, it's a lot of people that don't understand this. And so here's what's important. The reason why I wanted to do this topic, Lions, is because if you're going to get into a relationship with somebody, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's romantic, it's kind of important that you understand what the political beliefs are, what these ideologies are, the political ideologies. Not necessarily the political parties, but the ideologies, so you know who to align with. There's a lot of girls out there that don't know what they are. There's a lot of guys that have no idea what he is. You ask somebody, man, hey, how do you feel about welfare? Oh, man, I love welfare. What up, Philip? I love welfare, man. I need welfare. WIC is important, and I need to get them food stamps, man. And, and I need my GR check. And, welfare is important and necessary. There's a lot of people that believe that. Other people say, man, hell nah. Welfare, I believe it, but it should only be temporary. Welfare is good for those that need it just to get off their feet, but to get your ass back to work if you're an able-bodied individual. I don't want to pay for your laziness so you can get a welfare check until your kids turn 18 because you too lazy to get a job, and so you working somewhere getting paid under the table. There's those people. And then you got other people say, nah, fuck that. No welfare at all. If you can't get it up, if you can't get it in the mud like I get it, then a lot of people don't know what they believe, Lions. So I just was like, you know what, man, let me bust out a show that kind of breaks down the ideologies. I don't want to get into the weeds of the political parties. The difference between the Independent Party and the Green Party and the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. I don't want to get into the political sides, conservatism or liberalism, but I do want to talk about communism, fascism, capitalism, Marxism, and socialism. So just to give some people some ideas. And this is stuff that everybody could look up. But it's a lot cooler to hear from me. Right now, you guys could just cool back right now, pop in your earbuds or turn on the speakerphone, maybe you chilling in the bed, just throw the phone to the side and just listen to me break it down. And then I'm going to ask some questions so you guys can say, damn, do I believe that? How do I feel about that? So that's the reason why I'm doing that one tonight, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody at TikTok. Thank you for the gifts at TikTok. Carol, thank you for the gifts, Carol. Hey, Bumblebee, coming from Texas. Where you at? It's raining in Texas. My partner, I got a business partner that I do business with. He sent me a video in Texas. He's in Austin, and it was storming an hour ago. It's crazy because out here in LA, it's nice. I mean, I'm rocking shorts. In LA, it's shorts and flip-flop weather. He sent a video from Austin, Texas, Bumblebee, and it is storming like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like we in fall or something. What is going on in Texas? Where you at, Bumblebee? Hey, Demi. What up, Clear? What up, Shantia? What up, Sanderson? When I was in the military, I learned one lesson. I was deployed overseas. It was 1993. Was it 1993 or 1994? It was either 93 or 94. I was in Somalia, Africa. And I watched two people that was really cool with each other get into a debate. They were not a debate. They got into an argument. It was a religious one, but it applies here for politics too. These two dudes was like two peas in the pod. They were battle buddies. They were solid. And because they got into a religious debate, they ended up hating each other and didn't fuck with each other anymore, at least for the rest of my military stint. And I learned back then, don't get into politics or religious arguments with anybody. Most times you're not going to change somebody's mind, and what you will do is lose a friend. What you will do is lose a friend. When you debate politics and religion, those two things are hot top. They're hot rocks. You lose family members. You know, heaven forbid you grow up with your own mind and you don't do what the family does. Like in the black community, heaven forbid you grow up and you become conservative or Republican and all your family are Democrats. Vote blue no matter who. Your mama, your dad, your uncles. And then at the next Thanksgiving, somebody says something about somebody that you support. And then you say something to give some admiration to that political figure, and your family gets in your ass. But you fighting back, and now because you fighting your family over politics, they don't fuck with you no more. Imagine losing family because you grew up one day and had a different mindset than your uncles or your auntie or your mom. It happens all the time, you guys. It happens all the time. It's very saddening for some parents it's very saddening for some parents to realize that their children don't believe what they taught them all their lives. What do you mean? You're not a Republican. We are a Republican family. Your father, your grandfather, your grandmother, we're all Republicans. What do you mean you voted Democrat? How did you vote for Obama? You were supposed to vote for Bush. You were supposed to vote. If you don't know what you're voting for, ladies and gentlemen, you're guessing. And I don't want you to do that anymore. Your political ideology affects every fucking thing. When you hear people say, man, I don't get into politics, to ask them why. Like, why you don't get into politics? I'm not here to tell you what to be. I'm not here to tell you what to think. But you got to think something, man. It affects everything. Taxes, healthcare, free speech. It even fucks with dating. You know what I'm saying? It even affects dating. How do you not get into politics to some degree? There's some people that's like, la, 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 la. I don't want to hear about it. Who do you want me to vote for, Mom? Okay, that's who I'll vote for. I don't want to know anything about it, whatever. Some husbands just do what they wife say. Some children just do what their mama say. Just vote what I tell you to vote for. You don't need to worry about it. Don't worry about, you know how many people, some of you guys, and listen, I know I'm talking to some of you guys on TikTok and YouTube. And the people that's replaying this video, I'm talking to you. You call somebody and ask them what measure should you vote for. You don't know. It's like no on 62, yes on 11, You call somebody else and ask them, okay, what should I pick? Because you don't want to be bothered with reading it yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to stop that. Bumblebee says, I'm nosy, I have to know, over at TikTok. Shout out to Bumblebee. I noticed that most Texans are politically astute. Hey, Lakeisha, it's good to have you here, love. Thank you so much. You know, I've gotten to the point where I'm not trying to change anybody's minds, but I look at you sideways. I don't look at you sideways if you don't vote what I vote. I don't look at you sideways if you don't believe what I believe. I look at you sideways if you don't believe nothing. You don't believe it. You don't give a fuck. I look at you sideways if you're ill-informed. I look at you sideways. It's one thing to say, look, I know the information over here. I know the information over here. I've weighed the pros and cons, and this is what I believe. I'm rocking with this, Shan. And I'll be like, you know what? I respect that. I don't like your answer. I don't agree with you, but I respect that. Let's go toss a few back, have some beers, and party. I could fuck with people that don't believe what I believe. I don't know if I could fuck with somebody that don't believe nothing, that don't know nothing. I encourage you guys to all get involved politically to some degree. You don't have to share it with nobody. You don't have to tell anybody what you believe. You don't have to tell your family. You don't have to tell anybody. But I want you to be informed. And so when it comes to the terms communist, fascist, capitalist, socialist, Marxist, do you know what that means? If you didn't know what it means, you're going to know tonight because I'm about to break it down for you. So just sit back, relax, listen to Mr. Shan, listen to Sergeant Shan. I'm going to break it down so you can be like, after tonight, you'll be informed. You know, information is power, you guys. Oh my God. They don't want you guys to know nothing. The media, the systems in play, they don't want you guys to know nothing. They want you to be dumb voters. They want you to be stupid followers, sheep. That is the goal. All they want you to know is who's going to the NBA finals, and then where's Beyonce going to be where's her next concert? And then they want you to talk about the next reality TV show, the next Housewives of wherever the fuck. That's all they want you guys to know. They only want you to know what the headline says. They don't want you to read the article. Not over here. Shout out to the people who are informed, even if you don't believe what your own family believes, what your friends believe. I will never get rid of a friend because they believe something different than me. It won't happen. I may think of them like, damn, what's wrong with you? But they're my friends. You know, that's another thing that happened every fucking election. Oh, I had to go through my friends list and delete some people. Oh, I had to start I sent people to the block party. I had to start those people irked the fuck out of me. You got rid of somebody that you've known for 20 years because they voted for Trump. They don't so your friend because I can't rock with anybody that wants to throw away, that doesn't support women's rights. Well, what rights did you lose so far? What rights did you lose? Where you had it here, you had it on January 19th, and on January 20th you didn't have it anymore. I will never get rid of one of my friends over some political belief. That's why I don't like to discuss politics. That's what I saw happen when I was in the army. It was just over religion. That was Christian versus Muslim, because we were in Somalia at the time during, you guys have seen the movie Black Hawk Down. I was involved in that. And so it was a discussion that they were having about Christianity versus Islam. And they ended up not liking each other after that argument. Now, my summation was, if y'all would have never talked about that, you guys would be cool. And so I don't want to lose any friends or family because I believe something different than my friends or family believes. And I want you guys to not do that either, but you got to be informed. And that's what we're going to discuss tonight, y'all. That's what we're going to discuss tonight. So before we start, pick one of the ideologies: communist, fascist, capitalist, Marxist, socialist. What do you think you are? Some of you guys know. Some of you guys are just here just to be edified because you already know what the fuck I'm going to talk about tonight. But some of y'all don't. So what do you think you are? You know, what ideology do you believe you align with? And if you're not sure, that's okay, because by the end of tonight, you will know. Bumblebee says, let's do fascist first. Fascist is number 2, Bumblebee. I put it in order already. Listen, for everybody at TikTok, I have a different viewing experience at YouTube. YouTube, we have slideshows. TikTok is like the secondary stream. I'm streaming on YouTube right now, and YouTube gets the good shit. So everybody at YouTube gets the slideshows, they get the words and all that kind of stuff. TikTok, I can't connect it that way. All you get at TikTok is me, and then you get the banner, the cover photo below me that says a breakdown of politics. You guys can't see this at YouTube, but the people at TikTok can. TikTok, all you get is this. But if you want the full experience, swing over to YouTube, type my name, Shannon Rawls, and then you'll see everything. But I'm going to read it all to you so you don't have to come. So fascism is going to be second. First thing we're going to talk about is communism. First, we're going to talk about communism. What up, Lord Lovesmith? Lord Lovesmith says, I'm a capitalist. He says, I'm a capitalist. Hey, Lakeisha. All right. Let's jump in. Let's dive in, you guys. I'm going to define the ideologies, all of them. The principles and the origins of them. Communism. TikTok, listen up, because you can't see it. Everybody at YouTube can see it. TikTok, you can't see it, but I'm going to read it for you. Communism is a classless society. Classless. You ever heard somebody say Trump is not racist, he's classist? Have you guys ever heard that before? Trump is not a racist, he's a classist. Basically, Trump don't like poor people. There's classes. Yo, the poor people, the middle class, the upper to middle class, the lower middle class. There's classes in America, but communism, there's no classes. There's no such thing as rich and middle class and poor when it comes to communism. What up, MR? Glad to have you here. Communism is a classless, stateless society where all resources in that society and all production in that society are collectively owned by everybody, aiming to eliminate private property and inequality. In communism, the doctor makes as much money as the janitor. The teacher makes as much money as the attorneys in communism. There is no class in communism. We all make the same, and don't nobody own shit. If you're good at medicine, you become a doctor. If you're good at mechanics, you become a mechanic. But we all typically make the same. Mither, that's not capitalism. Oh, not sure what he's saying. Communism wants to eliminate private property. There's no such thing as my house in a communist state. I bought a house in Texas, and I bought a house in Florida, and I got some property in Chicago, and I got a condo in LA. Yeah, that doesn't happen in a communist society. That's not how that works in communism. Everyone works for the common good. Wealth is distributed from each according to
real
their
world.
ability, to each according to the need. The doctor, as important as they are, is as important as the street sweeper in a communist society. Now, communism is rooted in Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, the Communist Manifesto of 1848. 1848, not 1948. 1848. And it was implemented in the Soviet Union in 1917. In Maoist China in 1949. Remember, you guys, China is a communist country. The Soviet Union, which has fallen now, it's not the same as the current Russia, but you know, the Soviet Union was a communist country. In a communist country where everybody's the fucking same, nobody owns anything. Nobody really owns any private property. You know, all resources in production are collective of the entire group. It doesn't matter how smart you are or how dumb you are. You guys are all on the same playing field. Centralized control, abolition of private property, no market economy, in practice often led to authoritarian regimes like Stalin purges and 20 million deaths. What happens is, ladies and gentlemen, in a communist country, typically when everybody's on the same playing field and everybody kind of gets the same amount of money and everybody gets the same rations of bread, everybody gets the same weekly rations of eggs based on how many children they have, everybody gets the same amount of milk, everybody gets their ration of soft drinks, everybody gets one TV, everybody gets one automobile, everybody gets one sofa, and everybody lives in one 500 square foot square box in this building. And that it doesn't matter if you're a doctor or not. You could be a fucking attorney. Your next door neighbor is the janitor. Everybody gets the same amount of loaf of breads. I'm being extreme here, but to get you guys to land the point. That's what communism is, ladies and gentlemen. So imagine a society where your hard work, like the way you guys living now, if you're in America, you like, yo, man, I got to get out there and get it. That doesn't mean shit in communism, in a communist country. It doesn't. You work hard for what? There's no reward for working hard. You're going to get the same amount of money as somebody that's lazy. Because it's a communal thing. It's for the greater good of everybody. And typically what happens is in those situations, the government can become a tyranny easily and quickly because then they get to tell everybody what everybody gets. And then you get greed involved. And that's typically what happens. What up, Lions? He says those are not communist societies. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm explaining what communism is. Cuba, state-controlled economy where private businesses are limited. Private businesses were limited in Cuba. And the government sets the wages for everybody. That happened in Cuba, another communist state. So that is what communist is, ladies and gentlemen. It is a classless, stateless society where all resources and production are collectively owned, aimed to eliminate private property and inequality. In a communist society, they aim to eliminate inequality. They want to eliminate inequality by and large. Now you hear whenever somebody says those commies, oh, they taught Americans to hate communists back in the day. World War II. The commies, they taught. So when you hear somebody say, are you a communist? Or do you live in a communist society? When you think of China, when you think of the old school Soviet Union, that is what communism is. Now, moving on. Is Bumblebee still here? Where'd she go? I don't know if Bumblebee is still here or not. But let's talk about fascism. This is one you guys have been hearing a lot lately. In fact, I believe that fascism and being a fascist is new to a lot of you guys. Fascism is new to many of you. You've never heard it before. You never heard it before last year, let's say. He's like, fascist? Like, they calling him a fascist? What does that mean? Like, they calling this person a fascist, that person a fascist. What does that mean? An individual level, capitalism manifests as a system where people are motivated by self-interest. Oh, you talking about capitalism? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get to capitalism, Lord Smith. Me and Lord Love Smith is on the same sheet of music. Fascism, ladies and gentlemen. This is what fascism is. Fascism is an authoritarian, ultra-nationalist, meaning love your country. It's an ultra-nationalist system prioritizing the state over individual rights with a strong leader, suppressed dissent. You know what dissent means? Individual thought. To think differently than the previous thought, to descend from how the government believes. And a unified national identity. Unified national identity. Everybody's the fucking same. It emphasizes order, military power, and traditional hierarchies. Let's go through it again. Fascism. This is why a lot of people was trying to call Trump and Elon a fascist. And then other people was calling the people on the left fascist for how they believe. Listen, it's an authoritarian, meaning what I say goes. What the government says goes. The government says, so we must do. You get it? Yes, government, we will do what you tell us. We will not think for ourselves. We will do what you tell us because we love our country, and our country it matters, and fuck the rest of the world, and we don't care about any other place. An authoritarian, ultra-nationalist system that prioritizes the state meaning your country, meaning your government. That's what state means. That's the state is prioritized, and there's a strong leader. It's usually one supreme leader. Fascism typically has one supreme leader who is like the supreme, almighty, amazing. Thank the Lord, the heavens, the gods for bringing this leader to us, because we have this wonderful. That is what fascism. They usually have a strong leader. Nobody dissents. Suppressed dissent. If you say some shit about, don't you say nothing about. Don't you dare speak against the supreme one. Don't you say that out loud. In a unified national identity, we all believe the same shit. I know you guys are thinking of some countries. I almost said a couple, but I was just like, I know some of you guys are popping on your mind. Oh, I know. He must be talking about fill in the blank. They're like that over there at fill in the blank. Supreme leader. Everybody loves them. We're like fucking worker bees. We all look like the same, which is like just fucking drone ants. And this is what we believe. And we are the only thing right in a wrong world. And fuck the rest of the world. It's only about us. And it's an authoritarian, and we love our country, ultra nationalist. That is fascism. It emphasizes order, military power, and traditional hierarchies. Fascism emerged in Mussolini's Italy in 1922, in Nazi Germany in 1933. Fascism rejects both capitalist individualism and communist class focus. Capitalism rejects capitalist individualism. You can't be a free thinker in a fascist society. What are you doing? What do you mean free thinker? What do you mean believe what you believe? No. You can't believe that. This is what you are to believe if you over here with us. That is fascism. And communism's class focus, where everybody's the same, it rejects that in terms of money and socioeconomics. The key traits of fascism: centralized power. You ever heard of the New World Order? Have you guys ever heard somebody talk about the New World Order? What's the new? We're all gonna have chips. Everybody's gonna have chips. They're gonna eventually get rid of iPhones, and we're all gonna be chipped, and everybody's gonna have. Have you ever seen Black Mirror? There's a TV show called Black Mirror. Like, we are all just, and then there's social, there's what do they call it? Social currency. Like, if you're a good person, you get 10 points. If you jaywalk, you just lost 5 points. And if you get caught stealing, then you go to jail forever. If you're hungry and you steal a Snicker bar, then you go to prison, hard labor. And then if you let the old people sit down on the public bus, you get 20 points. And if you yell out loud, you lose 10 points for screaming in public. You can't scream so you guys ever seen Black Mirror? Interesting show, watch it. Centralized power is a key trait of fascism. Propaganda. Sell it to them, sell it to them, sell it to them. Drop the pamphlets, drop the leaflets. Get everybody to believe the same shit. Get your kids to believe it. Get your mama to start teaching the kids young. This is the supreme leader, and this is what you need to believe. Anybody that opposes the government, suppress them, put them in prison. You cannot believe what you want to believe. Don't you dare. An economic control with private ownership under state oversight, meaning you can own your individual company. Oligarch. Has anybody ever heard the term oligarch? But the government oversees you. You've been selected. You're part of the good old boy system. You are okay to have this oil company. You've been given this electrical contract. You are allowed to have a steel mill. You are allowed to manufacture automobiles, but you can't make your cars have to be made like this. They have to all look like this. And the government comes in and oversees it all, oversees everything you're doing. But you get paid for it though. You get to live kind of, you get to live, you chilling, but you don't have individual thought, even as a company. And this is often tied to racism and xenophobia. For those that don't know, xenophobia is when you don't like anybody different than you. Xenophobia is when you don't like anybody different than you. It has nothing to do with necessarily race, but even like a different country. Like, oh, you are from where? Okay, I don't fuck with them. I don't fuck with any other country. You are an immigrant? Oh, we don't even do immigrants over here in our country. Like, ain't no immigrants over here. Like, I've never seen a black person. Like, they want to touch you. Like, you're an alien. Like, oh, look at that. Look at his skin. Look at that black guy. I saw a black guy in real life. Yeah, but he can't live here. I mean, he came, is he being escorted by the police? Xenophobia is when you are afraid. Remember, phobia is a fear. Xenophobia is when you are afraid of people that's different than you. Not that you hate them. You don't even want to. You like, the fuck? I'm afraid of Italians. I'm afraid of black people. I'm afraid of white folk. I'm afraid of Mexicans. And that is the Holocaust. Mussolini Mussolini, when he was running Italy, where unions were banned, you couldn't have a union, you couldn't have a work union, in the workforce. The state dictated the economic production. What up, Fish in the Fit? Good to have you here, bro.
Hooah!
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what fascism is, where it is simply an authoritarian state where the people in that state, in that country or in that system is ultra nationalists. There's usually a strong leader, supreme leader that everybody believes and trusts in and thinks that there's no one better than them. No, that individual, that human being, that one person who was however way he was exalted into the position of the supreme leader, he's there. And that don't you dare talk about them. There is no such thing as free press. There is no, you cannot write some opposition to the government in a fascist country. You will be dead or in jail. That is fascism. Communism, we've already discussed communism. Communism is where everybody's pretty much the same. Economically speaking, nobody owns anything in communism. The government got it all. There is no individual. The government got it all. You can have some free thought over there, but you still not making no money. In fascism, everybody's the same. You can't say shit, get in line, or be dead. Now, capitalist. Let's talk about the capitalists. This is what Lord Lovesmith says he is. Lord Lovesmith says, man, Shan, I'm a capitalist. Capitalism. Capitalism is where the economic system is based on private ownership. Individuals, one person can own it. It belongs to them. Free markets, which means that you can buy and sell from whoever the fuck you want for however much you want. That's a free market. Free market is I can buy and sell goods and services from whomever I want for however much I want. The state does not tell me how much to charge. The state does not control the flow of commerce. That is a free market. And individual initiatives where supply and demand drive the production and wealth. Meaning, however many people need some toilet paper, the person that makes toilet paper becomes wealthier. The person that makes toilet paper, whoever produces toilet paper, because everybody got to wipe their ass. In a capitalist society, the toilet paper manufacturer owner gets rich. You see, in a communist society, even if you make, well, first of all, you don't really own, there is no ownership of a toilet paper manufacturer in a communist society. Now, you can have that in a fascist society, but the government is going to have oversight. But in a communist society, the government owns the toilet paper company, and everybody gets 3 rolls a month. Everybody in a communist society, all of y'all get, I don't give a fuck if you're a doctor, all of y'all get 3 rolls of toilet paper per month. So make it last. And the government makes the toilet paper. In a capitalist society, if you got the money, you can buy as much toilet paper as you want. And the person that made that toilet paper gets rich. And he sets the price of the toilet paper. And if he don't sell, he don't eat. Capitalism evolved from mercantilism in the 17th century, formalized by Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations, 1776. That wonderful year, 1776. It is dominant in the United States of America post-World War II in the West. Capitalism is what we live under here in the United States. For those that didn't know, now you know. There's a few of you that didn't know. Most of you did, but there's a few that didn't know. America is a capitalist country, meaning the harder you work, the more you get paid. And it's all your money. You got to pay your taxes, but it's all your money. If you don't work, you don't eat. If you work, you get paid. If you're smart, you get to live more comfortably than the people who aren't smart. And you are not obligated to take care of the people who are not smart like you. In America, if you sell water and you own the land, because you get to have individual ownership in America, and your land has water, you get to sell the water on your land to the people that need it. The government doesn't come in and take it. The government doesn't come and tell you how much to charge per gallon. You get to sell the water and get rich because you own the water well on your land that belongs to you. That is a capitalist society. The harder you work, the more money you get paid. And that's just the way it goes. Competition is a key trait of capitalism. Innovation. Are you smart? You see, the smart ones win. It's like, yo, I come up, I've identified something that people need, like a smartphone. So you build a smartphone, you become a billionaire. You create a mouse, you become a billionaire. You create paper in a printer, you become a billionaire. You plant apple trees and start growing apples in an orchard on your land, and then you start selling these apples, you become filthy rich in a capitalist society. You were smart enough to innovate to be able to expand your one apple tree into a huge orchard and make some money. Lion says, most notably, Lions went there with it. He said, most notably, the Atlantic slave trade, capitalism. Let's sell these niggas. And the more niggas you got, the more cotton you can pick. And the more cotton you can pick, the richer you get. That is what capitalism is. Innovation and wealth inequality as a byproduct of merit and risk. Meritocracy. Meritocracy means you earned it. You didn't. The ones that earn it win. The ones that didn't lose. So there's a wealth inequality in a capitalist society because if you don't work hard, you don't eat. You may have to work for the one that works hard. You may have to work for the smart person. You may have to work for the person that created some shit. You may have to work for the person that came up with an idea that people need and they sold it. And they created a product or a service that other people need. Uber. Somebody sat around and said, why don't we create a system where regular people can be cab drivers for regular people? We don't need to own no cars. We don't need to have no inventory. I'm going to let you turn your personal car into a taxi cab for your next door neighbor that needs to get to work. And they're going to pay you for it. I'm going to just make a little bit off the top because I'm going to make an app that's going to connect you two together. And I'm going to call it Uber. And so then, boom. You're suddenly a billionaire because you came up with the idea and you designed it and you did the code and you did everything necessary to create Uber. Then somebody else said, wait a minute, man, can we do that with our houses? Can we do that with our houses? I think there's a lot of people that got an extra bedroom in their house that they could rent out to somebody that doesn't want to stay in a hotel. They're just flying in. Maybe it's just a nurse that's flying in for the night and she doesn't really want to rent a hotel. How about we create something called Airbnb? And then what I'll do is I'll connect people with extra space in their house with people who need a place to stay for the night. So the people who need a place to stay for the night can skip past the hotels and the motels, connect with this homeowner who has an extra bedroom, and then that homeowner can make a little bit of money. The person that needs a place to stay doesn't have to pay all these extra taxes and bullshit that you got to pay for a hotel, and everybody's happy. And I'll make a little bit of money because I made an app that connects the two together. Ladies and gentlemen, that's capitalism working. That's what capitalism is. It's the people that come up with the smart ideas, or like my man Lion says over here, exploit people, because there's a downside to capitalism too. Don't get me wrong. Even though I am personally a capitalist, there's a downside to it too. But the smart people win, the innovators win, the hard workers win. The lazy motherfuckers don't. If you lazy, a capitalist, if you're lazy, you probably hate capitalism. Because we're going to get into socialism in just a second. If you lazy, you probably don't like capitalism because that means you got to go to work. You got to actually do some shit. Capitalism, it lifts standards of living, global poverty from 90% in the world to only 10% today. Capitalism took the world out of poverty. In 1820, not 1920, not 1920, slavery was still popping and everything. 1820, 90% of the world's population was impoverished. 90% of all human beings on the planet were starving, poor. And capitalism alone, brought that down to only 10% of the population. Now, 10% of the world is starving and hungry. That is owed to capitalism. The United States, where companies like Apple, Google, Tesla, they thrive on innovation, but the wealth gap widens. The top 1% in a capitalist society own, the top 1% of the people own 32% of the wealth. There's very, very, very stupid gazillion, billion. There's people that got stupid amounts of money while other people can't afford eggs. There's a downside to capitalism too, ladies and gentlemen. It gets to the point where you got somebody like Elon Musk, what is Elon Musk's net worth right now, Lions? Lions, what's Elon's, Lord Lusmith, what's Elon's net worth? Is it 342? Where one motherfucker is worth $342 billion. Do you guys understand how much money that is? Chaos says he hit 400 billion. God. Do y'all realize how much that is? You guys have heard the trope, right? Since right now. You guys have heard, you know the difference between 1 million and a billion. Everybody understands. To put it in perspective, if a dollar is a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was $10 right there. If $1 is equivalent to 1 second, 1 million seconds is roughly 2 weeks. If you get $1 for every second that counts, you'll have $1 million in about 2 weeks. Okay? That's $1 million. Whereas to get 1 billion, $1 equals 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was $10, right? It's $1 for every second. To get to $1 billion, just $1 billion, it takes roughly 33 years. That is the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between 1 million and 1 billion. $1 million in seconds takes 2 weeks. $1 billion takes 33 years. Not 33 weeks, not 33 months. 33 years for 1 billion. Elon Musk is worth 400 of them motherfuckers. Elon is worth $400 billion. Each billion is worth 33 years of a second. 1 million that a lot of you guys wish you had in the bank right now. All of you guys wish you could just touch 1 million would take you just 2 weeks. To get 1 billion, 33 years. Elon is at 400 billion. And the thing about capitalism, it will take somebody with innovation, intelligence, and smarts, and it'll raise them up and it'll make them extra super rich. Whereas other people live under the freeway and don't have food to eat. Don't have a jacket to wear in the cold. In the same damn city. The same city, ladies and gentlemen. The same zip code. There's homeless people in Beverly Hills, 90210, living on the street in Beverly Hills, and right walking distance from there are millionaires, billionaires. Same city. That is capitalism. That is capitalism. All right? But that's America. Now, I want to talk to you guys about Marxism. You guys hear this one every once in a while, but I wanted to touch on it too. What Vito says, an ingenuity. Capitalism, baby. An ingenuity. I'm a capitalist too. I'm with you, Vito. I'm a hard worker though, Vito. See, that's the thing about it though. I'm a hard worker. I'm an entrepreneur. I get it. If I don't work, I don't eat. But we're going to get into socialism. I left that one last. Let's just talk about Marxism real quick. Marxism is a theoretical framework by Karl Marx, analyzing history through class struggle, predicting capitalism's collapse, and a worker-led revolution to create communism. It's not a system, but a lens for critiquing capitalism. Basically, Marxists hate capitalists. It's not really a system in and of itself. Marxism is what communism was born out of. But the Marxists, those, especially Karl Marx and the followers, they hate capital. They hate you rich motherfuckers that work hard. They hate you, especially the fact that you will let poor people be poor. Dumb people not make money. Marxists hate capitalists, even to their own detriment. This is where they talk about a lot of the protesters. This is where they talk about people who burn down fucking their own neighborhood. Oh, we're rioting. I'm mad at Target. So they start rioting Target, knowing they goddamn need Target to get some toilet paper tomorrow. They're firebombing the city and tearing up CVS and breaking into Rite Aid and ripping, breaking into the mall and stealing shit. You fucking up your own. That is, I hate these rich motherfuckers. So I'll give you an example. People who vandalize Teslas because they hate. People who vandalize a regular private citizen's Tesla because they hate Elon Musk so much. Arguably, those people can be considered Marxist. You got your power back, Theo? What up, man? I was just talking about you in that rain, bro. Out there in Texas. I was just talking about you in that rain out there in Texas. Marxist is not necessarily a system, but a lens for the critiquing of capitalism. It was Karl Marx predicting capitalism's collapse and a worker-led revolution, a people-led revolution, worker-led revolution against capitalism, because how dare you rich motherfuckers are rich? How dare you sit on $400 billion and we have people starving? Fuck your entire company. And so you see those people, they spraying Gucci. You know, they spray painting the Gucci stores. They're vandalizing the Louis Vuitton stores. They're smashing the windshield on Lamborghinis. How dare you flaunt and be so opulent with your riches while we have people that are hungry and starving? Karl Marx's work, like the Das Kapital, which was 1867, it influenced the communist and socialist movements, but never fully implemented as a standalone system. Like I said, I didn't realize that it actually influenced socialism until I did the research for this show tonight. I knew that it influenced communism, but I didn't know it influenced communism and socialism. But Marxism is not a standalone ideology. Grant T says Marxism is dead once people realize they have opportunity. That's a bar. That's a bar. Let me throw that up on the screen. Marxism is dead once people, the innate how humans think. Once you realize that you have an opportunity, you don't give a fuck about Marxism, because you want that goddamn $1 million too. Oftentimes, the people that's burning the buildings and all that kind of stuff, they say that I wouldn't do this if I had the opportunity, but that's only because you know you're not going to have the opportunity. If you were given the opportunity, your ass would be right there with them. Lion says, I've never seen a lazy person starve. That's a goddamn. I got to throw that on the screen. That's a bar too. I never seen a lazy person starve. TikTok. I know you guys can't see the screen over here at YouTube. Have you ever seen a lazy person starve? Have you ever seen a hungry, lazy person? Nope. Because they got somebody else to feed them. Somebody else is going to feed them. They got their hand out. The key traits of Marxism focuses on class conflict, labor exploitation, and dismantling capitalist structures. That's all the fuck they're focused on. Often academic and less practical as a governing system. Marxist scholars inspiring labor movements like early 20th century union strikes. Shout out to Grant T that says Marxism is dead. And then lastly, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to do this side by side after this one, socialism. Socialism. This might be a lot of you guys. Now, I don't believe that many of you people that's watching me right now at TikTok or YouTube are communists. I don't believe that many of you people that are watching me right now are Marxists. Some of you might be, though, because especially at TikTok. I don't believe that many of you people that's watching me right now are fascists. I don't believe that. You know, you didn't grow up in North Korea. You know, I don't believe many of you guys believe in no fucking supreme leader and shit. I don't think that. Right? So I don't think that many of you guys are Marxists, because that's really not a system. It's really, Marxism is just really a pushback to capitalism. I don't believe many of you guys are Marxists, of course. Any of you guys are Marxists, actually. I don't believe many of you guys are communists, okay? Where, you know, you want the doctor to make the same amount of money as the fucking cake maker. And I don't believe that any of you guys are really fascists like that. Unless you hate. No, I don't believe any of you guys are fascists. You guys don't. I just don't. I don't think that, you know, any of you guys are ultra nationalists. I don't think that you really believe in an authoritarian state where you want a fucking supreme leader to tell you what to do. I don't think any of you guys are really like that. But capitalism, I believe most of you guys are, or a lot of you guys are, but here comes socialism. This is the one that kind of separates. This is kind of the battle between the left and the right. This is the battle between the donkey and the elephant. This is the battle between blue and red. Listen to me, guys. This is socialism. Do you believe in welfare? Here we go. Socialism is a system where key industries like healthcare, Obamacare, healthcare, utilities, lights, power, water, waste, electricity for your house. Right now, everybody's chilling in the house. You got the light on right now. The electricity in your house are publicly owned. It's owned by the people or heavily regulated to reduce inequality. But private property and markets may still exist. You can still have some private shit going on. But the shit that everybody needs, not everything like communism, but the essentials like healthcare, transportation, electricity, water, the essentials for life, and you know, the basic needs are typically owned by the public, all the people. And it's a balance between individual freedom and collective welfare. We all need water, you guys. Nobody should be thirsty. Nobody should be hungry. The gasoline should not cost. Why are doctors rich? Lions, why are doctors rich? You shouldn't be rich. We all need healthcare. How come diabetes medicine costs this? How come this kind of medicine costs that? Why is my grandparents' blood pressure medicine that much? How come you're charging so much for this pill? Why is it that somebody that needs dialysis, why do they have to pay? We should all pay for that. Everybody pays for that. It shouldn't be privatized. Cancer, chemotherapy, it shouldn't cost anything for anybody. It's available to everybody. Those are the things that are necessary. Healthcare utilities. Those are the things. Those are key industries. Not the extra shit. Listen, if you wanna own a nightclub, you know what I'm saying? If you want to sell some fancy clothes, you know, you want to sell some microphone equipment, you want to do some extra shit, then fine. You know, you want to open up a private gym for people to work out and charge a membership. Okay, fine. But healthcare is a right. Electricity for your house is a right. Your electric bill should just be $20. And it doesn't matter how much you use. Doesn't matter how much electricity you use. We all just pay $20. It's collective. Socialism evolved from the 19th century utopian movements implemented in Nordic models, Sweden, and mixed economies. The problem with socialism, the key, well, I won't call it the problem. We'll get into that later. The key traits of socialism, oh, those taxes are high, boy. You got some tax, you getting taxed. You go to work, you made $1,000, 500 is gone. Gone, 50%. You can kiss that goodbye. High taxes in a socialist country. I mean, you got to pay for this. Somebody got to pay for this shit. We all need it. Somebody got to pay for it. High taxes, social safety nets, though, because the social safety nets make it so if something goes wrong with you, you'll be okay. And government intervention, the government comes in and is bossing. There is no laissez-faire. Did I say that right? Lions? Laissez-faire? That's how I learned it in school. Is it laissez-faire? There is no government. It's no hands off. That's what laissez-faire is. Government hands off. No. Not in the socialist society. In the socialist society, the government is all in your pocket. It's all in your business. Open up, because we subsidizing this shit. We paying for all this. Open up. What the fuck's going on over here? What you got going on? Now, socialism can coexist with capitalism, like 50% of Sweden's GDP is public spending. Norway's state-owned oil wealth funds universal health care and pensions. In Norway, the gasoline, the oil industry in Norway pays for everybody's health care and their retirement funds, their pensions. Everybody in Norway, when you get old and retire, as long as you worked, gets paid. You didn't have to pay into a 401k. You didn't have to negotiate a pension. You know, there's really no more pensions these days. In Norway, you work, you get old, you retire, everybody gets a check. You're covered until you die. There is no old folk that's starving or is hungry, or that doesn't happen in Norway. That doesn't happen. And if you get sick or you need some help in Norway, everything's paid for. Go to the hospital. There is no bill. There's no medical bill in Norway. There's no such thing. But when you work, half your check is gone. That's for sure. So those are the differences, ladies and gentlemen, between communism, fascism, capitalism, Marxism, and socialism. Now you know. Now, I don't believe many of you guys are Marxists or communists or fascists, but most of you guys are capitalists or socialists. You believe there should be a welfare state. Everybody should get a check. What do they call it? Universal basic income, UBI. Everybody gets a check. Just because you live here, everybody gets a check. Because you contribute to our society, everybody gets a check. So let's go over it, you guys. Let's talk about the real world impacts of these things. You see, communism, it promises equality, but it often delivers poverty and oppression. The Soviet Union breadlines, Venezuela's 96% poverty rate in 2019. Did you guys know that? In Venezuela, 96% of the population is below the poverty. That's everybody's poor in Venezuela. Why? Communism. Central planning stifles innovation, and that's because the government establishes everything in communism. Nobody owns anything in communism. And the government, sometimes you'll get a person in politics or who the good old boy system, and they'll do some overreach, and they start fucking everybody because of their greed in communism. Really no government oversight in communism. Most of us are not capitalists. Most of us are the working class. No, I don't believe that. Most of us are capitalists that are forced into the working class. But if we had the opportunity, we would. This is an ideology discussion, not a practical one. Fascism delivers order. Think of North Korea. Fascism delivers order, but at the cost of freedom and diversity. There ain't no freedom and diversity in fascism, ladies and gentlemen. Nazi Germany's censorship, Italy's secret police. National pride turned toxic really fast. National pride turns toxic really fast. In capitalism, it drives wealth and innovation. Capitalism drives wealth and innovation. The United States GDP per capita is 70,000 versus Cuba's 9. But it creates inequality. The problem with that. Lion says that's not the reason. That's absolutely the reason. Listen, even from a capitalist ideology, Lions, if you're working to get a raise at your job, if you're trying to become a supervisor, if you are let's say you work at Target and you would like to one day be the manager. What is driving you to want to be the manager at Target if you are just the if you're just the what do you call it? The supervisor. What is driving you if you're just a supervisor at Target and you would like to one day be the store manager so you can make more money? That's capitalist. That's a capitalist ideology. Just because you don't own the store, you still want to rise to the top and be better than your competition. Competition drives capitalism, even in the workforce. I may open up the board. So people can call in today so we can explain this. Right, Gail, the cashier. Why would the cashier, that's not who I was thinking of, but why would I was thinking of the supervisor. Why would the cashier want to become a supervisor and the supervisor want to become a manager? So they can make more money, so they can live better. So what do? They become innovative. They give the company ideas. Hey, this is what I think we should do in this company. And then the regional manager says, I like how you're thinking. You're doing better for the company. You're making us more money. So because you're giving us great ideas and making us more money, we're going to give you a raise and we're going to give you a better position. You've been promoted. You're happy now. That's capitalism. That's not working class. That's why I'm telling you, this is not a practical discussion. It's an ideology discussion. In the ideology of even a workforce, even at your job. If you, ladies and gentlemen, work somewhere and you got a coworker that's on the same level as you and you got a manager or a supervisor and you may one day become the supervisor or manager and you want to become the supervisor or manager because they make more money than you and they have more power than you. They're in a better position than you. They probably fucking don't clock in. They're probably on salary and they're not on wages, so they don't punch in. You're a capitalist. Capitalism drives wealth and innovation. So if you're innovating for your boss, if you're coming up with ideas and you're showing your boss how smart you are and how great you are and how valuable you are to the company, because by doing so, you will probably get a promotion or a raise or both. That's what drives you to do that. But it creates inequality because if your coworker ain't as smart as you, if your coworker is not as is not a go-getter. Did I see somebody write go-getter in the chat? Pterodome. Shout out to my man Pterodome.
Hooah!
If your coworker is not a go-getter, if your coworker is lazy, if your coworker drops their pen at 5 p.m. and can't wait to get out of that company and go home, they don't do nothing extra. They come late, they leave early, they don't do anything extra for the company. They do the bare minimum, the basics they can't stand, then fine. They're fine with their job. They don't care. But the person that comes early, leaves late, does all the extra work and gets the promotion and raise, what's driving them? Now, Marxism inspires activism, but often fuels division without clear solutions. And then finally, socialism reduces inequality. Socialism reduces inequality, meaning the rich ain't so rich and the poor ain't so poor. It kind of like brings them a little closer together. Socialism does that, ladies and gentlemen. Socialism, you ain't super rich and you ain't super poor. We a little bit closer in socialism. Like Sweden's Gini coefficient, 0.28 standard deviation versus the U.S.'s 0.41 standard deviation. But the taxes are high. High taxes can burden the workers and discourage entrepreneurship. If you are fucking taxed and you barely making it by, and everybody is barely making it by. I get it. The healthcare is free. I get it. Your electricity is cheap. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't cost much. The eggs don't cost a whole lot of money. Everybody, the milk is not expensive. But god damn, man, you work all day long, all week long, and you look at your check and they take half your money. The government takes half your bread. You're not really quick to fucking do more, right? Who wants to do more if Big Daddy government is taking all your check? Everybody's always smart. See, Lions, everybody think they smart in the chat. I don't have any studying to do. You're just wrong. That's all. It's okay to be wrong. It really is okay to be wrong. I know you one of the keyboard warriors in the chat. And see, now I used to like you. Now I don't like you. Venezuela got tons of oil, but the people are poor. See, I just be talking. And I get your points. And you probably over there fuming, wishing that you could pull up. If you pull up, I'm going to just annihilate you on camera. That's all that's going to happen. It's okay. Stay in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, now I want to challenge your beliefs. What are you? I'm curious, do you know what you are? I'm curious, do you know what you are? Are you a socialist? Are you a capitalist? Are you a communist? A Marxist? Could you potentially be a fascist? Do you hate rich people? Do you hate individualism? Do you hate capitalists? Do you hate people that work hard and get a whole lot of money for working hard? Do you hate the fact that the NFL players make hundreds of millions of dollars playing football? That's a question. That's a legitimate question. Do you hate the fact that LeBron James is filthy rich playing basketball? Do you hate that? Some people hate that. They can't stand. It has nothing to do with LeBron himself, has nothing to do with his brand or his personality. It has nothing to do with that. Some people hate the fact that rappers, musicians, some people hate how much money Beyonce makes. Do you hate how much money Jay-Z has? Do you hate how much money Kanye West makes with all the shit that he says? Do you hate the fact that he's filthy rich with all the shit that he says and the way he said? Do you? Common misconceptions. Calling your universal health care communism or free speech fascism. If you're throwing these words around, you're probably confused. If you believe that universal health care is communism, you're wrong. If you believe free speech is fascism, you're wrong. I want to test your alignment, ladies and gentlemen. Do you value freedom? Capitalism or moderate socialism might fit, but communism and fascism restrict it. Do you prioritize equality? Is it more important for you to believe that everybody is equal? You see, socialism and Marxism appeals, but communism track record is grim. What did my assistant write? God, what did she say? Do you want strong leadership? She said, you want strong leadership. Fascism might sound tempting, but it crushes dissent. Okay. Are you the kind of person that believes that you should have a voice in the government? Because if you believe that everybody should just shut the fuck up and listen and do what they're supposed to, this is why I tell you that I don't believe many of you guys are fascists. Because if you believe that everybody should just shut the fuck up and just do what they're told to do, you're likely a fascist. But it's okay because a lot of people grow up believing that. I don't think that you guys are like that, but that could be the case for you. What about exploitation? This is where somebody in the chat, I think it was Lions, or I'm not sure who it was, but exploitation. See, capitalism can be exploitative. Capitalism, cheap labor. How do you guys feel about the iPhone being made in or Nikes, a pair of Nikes? How do you guys feel about the fact that a pair of Nikes can be made in a sweatshop in China? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about what do you say? How do I not like you? because we don't have a difference on economics. You're trying to tell me I need to learn. You're challenging my intelligence. That's the difference. Did you hear me earlier? It's one thing to challenge somebody's intelligence. It's another thing to just say, oh, you know what? I don't believe that. That's why I don't like you no more. I didn't challenge your intelligence. I don't even know you. Do you hate exploitation? That's what Marxism hates capitalists. However, capitalism oftentimes fixes it faster through innovation. Building of machinery and industrialization. See, somebody earlier mentioned capitalism. No, let me rephrase that. Slavery is rooted in capitalism. It is. Let's go steal these people, bring them over to America and put them to work, free labor. And then we get paid. You pick all the cotton, you do all this hard work out in the sun, you do all these things for me, and then I make a whole lot of money based on your labor. Capitalism can be exploitative. I'm not saying that right. It's tongue twister for me. Capitalism can exploit people, human beings, and get free labor out of them, sweatshops, to make stuff for people that can afford the stuff. Right? Marxism hates that. Marxism hates the exploitive nature of capitalist societies. However, because of innovation that capitalism creates, it fixes the problem of things like slavery faster. So the cotton gin. was created that can pick cotton faster than most of the slaves. And the next, why? Because somebody came up and said, you know what, we need to create something that can do this. Let me create a machine that can do what 10 humans can do in an hour. This machine can do the same thing that 10 people can do. This one machine. And so capitalist societies will foster innovation and technology and create stuff to help the greater good of people overall, but at the expense of exploiting the same people. It's a fucked up cycle. I get it. And that's why a lot of people can't stand Elon Musk. You know, why does he want to go out of space? Why do we have SpaceX? What is he doing? Is he fucking up the environment by sending all these rockets out there? How much space debris do we have circling our atmosphere? How much are you ruining the environment in Cape Canaveral in Florida? Like, are you fucking up Earth just so you can go play around on Mars? At what expense? And then how many people? So how much uranium do you need? And who's mining the uranium? And who's mining cobalt? Are the workers that are mining cobalt in these third world countries, are they being paid fair just so you can have the cobalt to do the shit that you need to do so you can build the rockets that you need? What about lithium? The lithium that they have in the Ukraine, you know, are they being paid fairly? Blood diamonds. So you can be out here looking, so you can walk around, so your wife can have a big old pretty ring on her ring finger. A big old fancy diamond. So she can look pretty because you just happen to be born in the United States of America and you happen to fall for the advertising of De Beers on a diamond is a girl's best friend. And so now you want a 8-carat diamond engagement ring. But do you want that ring at the expense of some poor man from Africa that had to work for $1 an hour mining those diamond mines or gold? Like, capitalism at the expense of exploiting people is for the greater good of people. Like, how many pair of Nikes do you need? How fancy of a tennis shoe do you want? So you're gonna pay $200 for some Jordans? $200 for some Jordans that cost $20 to make, and the people that made it were only paid $2. So now this big corporation got all this money, and all the fancy big cats at that corporation is all the you know, the executives at Nike living fat and eating food and slinging salami all over the place and drinking wine and driving their big fancy Rolls Royce cars and living in the hills. All while the person that made the Nikes is working for $2 an hour. Do you care where your Nikes come from? Do you care where your smartphone that you're watching me right now, how it was made? And was it made ethically? Do you give a fuck? I know you think you give a fuck, but do you really? That's capitalism. But if you hate that, if you hate capitalism because of the exploitive nature of it, that could potentially be considered Marxism. This is how I want you to identify your ideologies. Don't just do what your mama tell you to do. Don't just parrot an ideology. Build your own worldview based on evidence, values, and outcomes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part that I don't like about what happens a lot. There's a lot of you guys that if you really told your mom how you feel about politics, they will yell at you. If you told your father what you really think, your father would go off on you. If you told your uncle, your aunt, if you told your sister, if you told your wife, gentlemen, how you really feel about Trump, your wife will not give you no pussy tonight. You don't get to have any sex tonight because you told your wife how you really feel about Trump. Some of you hate Trump because you were told to hate him. Some of you hate Obama because you were told to hate Obama. Some of you hate Kamala Harris. Some of you hate Elon Musk because the headlines told you to hate Elon Musk. That some of you hate Candace Owens because you were told to hate Candace Owens. Some of y'all hate Dr. Umar Johnson because you were told to hate Dr. Umar Johnson. Some of you guys hate people because you were told to hate them, not because you found out for yourself. Not because you investigated, learned anything on your own. You didn't look up anything. You didn't read anything. You're just parroting ideologies. You don't build your own worldview. You don't travel. You don't read the article. You just read the headlines. You go to World Star to get your news. You listen to only one news outlet. You go to Fox News and you only listen to what Fox News tells you. You don't pay attention to anything that comes from MSNBC or CNN. You just listen to Fox News and Fox News only. Or on the other side, you only listen to MSNBC. You don't listen to anything else. That's the thing. Please build your own worldview based on evidence that you've gathered, values that you have in your heart of hearts, and the outcomes that you are experiencing, not somebody else. Read, ladies and gentlemen. You read things like the Communist Manifesto, Smith's Wealth of Nations, or watch speeches from leaders in each system. Watch speeches from everybody. You know what's happening right now? A lot of people are starting to read the translated version. Okay, I'm not casting a judgment left or right, here or there. But Adolf Hitler. Are you guys noticing that a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, Adolf wasn't so bad? Was he much different than current governments? Like a lot of people were told how much of a monster he is, but people are starting to listen to his speech. They're just listening. They're taking the speeches and having them translated, and they're listening to them for themselves. Let me ask you guys a question. Everybody that's listening to my voice right now. I'm gonna ask a question to everybody that's hearing me right now. Have you ever heard a translated speech of Adolf Hitler? For yourself. Not what you were told in school about him, not what you're told by politicians, not what you're told by anybody else. Have you ever yourself listened to what he was telling his people? I'll be first to tell you the answer is no, I have not. I have not listened end to end an entire speech from Adolf Hitler. My opinion on Adolf Hitler has been formulated by what I was told about him. I was told he was a monster, so I believed it. And to be honest with you, I kind of still believe it. I am not necessarily telling you guys to do what I'm doing. I'm just telling you to do what I'm saying. I have not listened to a speech translated into English of Adolf Hitler from beginning to end. I have never done that in my entire 52, almost 53 years on this planet. Have you? If you haven't, If you haven't and you don't like him, why don't you like him? Because you were told not to like him? He didn't do anything to you personally. You never met the man. You were told what he did. But did you listen to his speech on your own? That is the same thing that can be said about Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Minister Louis Farrakhan, President Trump, Kanye West, Jay-Z, everybody. It's important that you find out and you start reading and trust and listen to recorded speeches from all of these people that you were told to either love or hate. Don't trust the pundits. Go to the source. I also want you guys to analyze the outcomes. Look at real world examples. Compare countries like North Korea, which is a communist country and a fascist country, to South Korea, which is a capitalist country. The numbers don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. GDP, gross domestic product, that's what that stands for. The numbers don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. Life expectancy of its citizens. How old do North Koreans get versus how old South Koreans get? Google it. And I want you to ask why. Talk to the people that you were told not to talk to. Engage someone with different views. A socialist if you lean capitalist, and ask why they believe what they do. You don't have to agree, but you do have to understand. This is the problem that I have, and this is what I led with when I first started talking tonight. With people who unfriend people who have a different political view than them. People who every election cycle, they come in and they say, I'm unfriending them all. I'm blocking them because they don't believe. Have you talked to them? Like one-on-one? Like if you heard if somebody posted something on their Twitter or on their Facebook or whatever that you don't believe or you don't like, or somebody maybe say was advocating for President Trump, did you ever call him or did you just block him? Oh, I don't got tolerance. Then you're an asshole and you're probably stupid. You're probably not bright. You're probably not like Lion's Time Baby or Grant T or MR, who has tolerance, or Terradome, who has tolerance. Why did that do that? That has tolerance for other people's beliefs. When somebody posted that they are voting for President Trump, did you block them instantly? Or did you call them and say, hey, I'm curious as to why you believe why you believe Trump should be our president over Kamala Harris? I just want to hear your opinion. Give me some positives and negatives that you have on Trump. If you didn't place that phone call and you just blocked them, you're a sheep. That's how I personally feel. I wouldn't block anybody that believes differently than me. I would want to either engage and talk to them and find out why they believe that, and then tell them why I believe what I believe. Or we just won't have political conversations. We could talk about everything else. We could talk about the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about cycling or working out, going to the gym and getting fit. We could talk about shit like that. We don't have to necessarily talk about politics or religion. But if I'm genuinely curious, I'm going to ask, but I'm not going to just say, fuck you. And here's another thing. Have you noticed that one side does that more than the other side? You know what? I agree with that, Grant. Grant says North Korea is not communism. It's something else. North Korea is more fascism. It's a mix of both, but it's considered officially a communist state. That's why I had to put that in here. But I'm with you, really, to be honest with you. From grandfather to son, from son to son, you know, it's like you say, it's a country ran by a family. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I want you to do this also. Define your non-negotiables. Define your non-negotiables. So I want everybody to write down 3 to 5 core values. Things like freedom, equality, security. How do you feel about, here's a question for some of you guys. How do you guys feel about national security? How do you feel about immigration? How do you feel about immigration? Do you think does it affect you? And do you feel a certain way because it does affect you or it doesn't affect you? See, a lot of times people form their political beliefs, their political ideologies because of what affects them. Like if you live in fucking Idaho, you may not care so much about immigration as opposed to if you live in San Antonio, Texas. If you live in San Diego, you probably have a little bit different feeling about immigration than if you live in Wyoming. How do you feel about national security? How do you feel about affirmative action? How do you feel about DEI? Write down 3 to 5 core beliefs. Rank them. And then match those core beliefs that you have to the ideologies that I talked about earlier. If you if freedom is important to you, freedom, come and go as you please, own what you want, and communism probably ain't for you. And then use X to follow debates. That's a great place to get some fucking tea. It's great the way X trends, because it doesn't do that on Facebook. There's really no other websites, social media websites that's driven by the users, that's better than X, that doesn't heavily drive on a particular algorithm. It's open to all. Like, for instance, Threads. If you guys are on Threads is going to be driven based on what you comment on and what you like on. And then your feed at Threads is going to be that and that only. So if you give a fuck about sports or you care about cars, you're not going to really see that on Threads. It's only going to show you what you talk about, what you write about. And because Threads uses AI heavily. Facebook is going to use your friends, the people that you follow. You're only going to really see the people that you befriend at Facebook. It's not really open like that. Instagram is driven by visuals and its algorithm. But X is it's different. You could see shit that you otherwise wouldn't see. Especially if you click on the search and then look at the trending topics, you can see what the fuck is popping right away. You can follow the debate. You can go to the X. It has this thing called Spaces. You can go to Spaces on X and pay it and listen. Just listen in on what people are talking about. Follow the debates and the ideologies over on X. Focus on the posts with data and historical examples, not people just ranting and talking shit. Because that happens a lot at X, and ignore the porn. So it can be a gold mine or it can be a fucking dumpster fire at X. You get both. You get the best of both of those worlds. And then from there, choose wisely. Choose wisely. Me personally, I already know. I'm a capitalist. I'm an entrepreneur. I sit firmly and sit well in a capitalist society. And I don't want to exploit, but I do want to come up. But I don't want to exploit, but I do want to come up. In a lot of ways, it could be hypocritical. I get it. Think and access. Yes, Mike. Just telling them to think and access. The information is there for everybody to access. Everybody has the information at their fingertips. Use it. Don't just parrot what your mama told you. Because she's probably just parroting what she was told. She's probably just repeating what the fuck she was told. She ain't digging no deeper. And I'm going to be honest with you, in the black community, my community, if you want to call it a community, boy, we operate on some emotions. You could tell you could give stats and data to black folk, and they'll look at you and say, I don't care nothing about that. You'd be like, wait, what? You don't give a fuck about this proof that I just gave you? Nah, I don't like fill in the blank. It could be a politician. It could be a celebrity. I don't like them. You don't like them? Why? Why you don't like them? Don't tell me why somebody else don't like them. Tell me why you don't like them. Oftentimes, they can't answer that shit. A lot of people cannot tell you why they don't like a certain person on either side. They couldn't tell you. Some people can't tell you why they don't like Jasmine Crockett. They just gonna tell you, I don't like her. Other people can't tell you why they don't like Candace Owens. They just don't like her. Both of those people were probably told not to like those girls. They don't know why they don't like them themselves. Don't be that person, ladies and gentlemen. These ideologies aren't just words. You guys, they're the blueprints on how societies are run on this planet. And I want you to make sure that you get them straight whenever you get into a conversation with somebody. You need to know what socialism is. You need to know what capitalism is, for sure. And now you know what fascism is. Don't worry too much about Marxism. Whenever you hear that, just kind of ignore it. But you got to know what socialism is. You got to know what capitalism is. Shout out to MR, as always, coming through with the super chats. He says, this is for my audio library card. Thanks for this breakdown. It's needed. Appreciate it, man. MR, you're now equipped to engage into that intellectual conversation at the next party. That's all this is for. You are now equipped to engage into that intellectual discussion at the next bar that you go to. When you got to the drink, man, you order that martini, or you order that beer, or you get that rum and coke, or you get your vodka and cranberry, and you get into that conversation, and somebody says, hey, and them motherfuckers is they some fascism. They fascists. You can be like, no, they not. What do you mean they fascists? Do you know what a fascist is? Do you understand what a fascist is? Do you realize that a fascist believes in authoritarianism? Do you understand that fascists are ultra nationalists that prioritize the state, the government? They believe in government. The government is the end all be all last, that they don't believe, fuck what everybody else is talking about. Fascists believe in what the government believes. Not individual rights. The government got that. And fascists believe in a supreme leader. The next time you get into a conversation intellectually at that next party, ladies and gentlemen, when somebody brings up, oh, such and such is a fascist, you say, what is a fascist? And if you don't know, I'll tell you, but don't just be calling people something because you were told to call them that. Now you know what a communist is. Now you guys know what socialism is. Socialism, what is socialism? It means everybody pays for it. You know, the rich pay for everybody. Let me Peter Pan. No, not Peter Pan. Yeah, Peter Pan. No, I'm sorry, Robin Hood. What the fuck? I say Peter Pan. God, I'm sleepy. I know what I need. That's why my brain ain't working, because I'm missing. I'm having a lack of something. Robin Hood was a socialist. Rob the rich to give to the poor. The rich don't need all of that. The poor people need it. What up, that one, Mike? Thank you for the super chat. Be objective. It's hard to open a closed mind. That's right. Man, shout out to the two brothers that hit me with the super chats, MR, for the audio library. Yeah, MR, you're going to be able to engage. Not that you couldn't already, MR, because you're a smart dude, but now for sure, nobody will be able to tell you that somebody is a communist, and you're going to be like, nah, no, that's not what it is. Do you know what a fascist is? And here's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. Please take this information and teach the next person. Pass this shit along. Teach it to your brother that's not watching the podcast right now. The next time you are at work, when you are in the break room, not to get into a debate, but to educate. When you're in the break room at work, right? Or you guys are on lunch and you're going to the food court, or you're going out to the food truck. Ask your coworker, say, do you know what a fascist is? I know you heard it, but do you know what it is? And then when they inevitably tell you, no, not really, tell them. Each one, teach one. Explain it to them. Pass the information. Say, do you understand what capitalism is? I kind of understand it. It's going to be a lot of people that say, I mean, I think. You'd be like, do you know what capitalism is? Not really. Capitalism is the smarter you are and the harder you work, the richer you get. But it increases inequality in class. The rich get richer and the poor get poor. Are you okay with the rich getting richer and the poor getting poor as long as you work hard? And if you were to be blessed with working hard, would you want to give away all your money to the poor? Like, those are the questions that you want to ask. How do you feel about welfare? Do you believe that every woman, no matter where she is in life, should have free maternity? It shouldn't cost $10,000 to have a baby. A circumcision shouldn't cost $400 on top of that if you have a son. It should just be free. How do you feel about universal health care? How do you feel about a universal basic income? Everybody should get $1,200 check every month just because. Because we're so fucking rich in this country, everybody should just get a check for $1,200 a month. No, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't matter if you're a CEO at a business or if you're just a janitor. Everybody gets a $1,200 check. Everybody gets it. Period. And it has nothing to do with taxes, by the way. Every month you get $1,200. Universal basic income. How do you feel about that? But you got to be careful when you ask, because if you ask somebody that's broke, that don't really pay taxes, they're likely gonna be like, yeah, I love that. Then you got somebody else that's like, well, wait a minute, how much that's gonna cost? wait, I'm already taxed to the hilt already. How much is that gonna cost me? Like, does that mean that gasoline prices are gonna go up so we can give everybody $1,200 a fucking month? It's those, does my electricity bill go up because I need to give everybody $1,200 a month? Depends on who you ask. Nevertheless, you need to be informed. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. These ideologies, they sound good on paper, right? But there's real world strengths and flaws in each one, man. Communism sounds fair You know, we all get paid the same. You know what I'm saying? We all get paid the same. You know, you a doctor and you an attorney, but I'm a mechanic and my wife is a baker. We all get paid the same. You know, that's all good until everybody's starving. Communism sounds good till everybody's starving, you know. Capitalism is good until you can't afford to go to the doctor, until they tell you that you got to die because you can't afford the heart transplant. So yeah, you just got to die. Like, I need a heart transplant, or I need dialysis because, you know, whatever. Yeah, sorry, if you can't afford to pay for it, you got to die. Then again, you might love free doctor visits. Right? You love free doctor visits. Like, going to the doctor is free. Let me switch my screen here. You love going to the doctor. It's free. Free healthcare for everybody. It's free. Are you okay with not seeing a doctor for 6 months because you got to wait because the waiting list? Are you cool with being taxed 50% of your paycheck to see that free doctor? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen. These systems, they're not just words. They shape everything. They shape your paycheck. They shape your freedom. They shape your life. They shape your relationships with your woman, gentlemen. They shape your relationship with your man, ladies. My only issue is that most people adopt these ideologies without questioning. I don't want that to be you. But if you know what you believe and you do some brutal self-examination, you'll be all right. And you my type person. You my type motherfucker. If you know what you believe because you investigated it, not because your mama told you to. All right? Don't just parrot these ideologies, you guys. Build your own worldview. You're not here to follow a crowd. All right? Like this video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. Join the SR Army where we continue these intellectual conversations. When you join the SR Army, we have a back chat on WhatsApp. Come on in. You're invited. It's only members only, though. It's not open to the public. Come on in. Come on in. You're invited to join the SR Army. Go to srarmy.com. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's no money. You don't have to pay at all. You won't be charged $1, not a nickel, not 50 cents. It's not a quarter a month. It's not $2.99. It's not $10 a year. It's $0. Doesn't cost anything. Yeah, go live, Chaos. I'll pull up. Go live, Chaos. Do an after-hour show. You should always do an after-hour show for me, Chaos. Go live and I'll pull up. Like this video, subscribe, join the army at srarmy.com. It's our mastermind group where iron sharpens iron. It's free for life right now. It won't be free for life for everybody for a long time. I'm Mr. Shan, the man with the plan. I've been there. I've done that. And not much surprises me anymore, ladies and gentlemen. And you, my friends, are dismissed.
Esa chica quiere selfie, ella quiere ver. Pa' que el jefe se dé cuenta que aquí perdió esa mujer. Lo que quiere es enloquecer, ser la mujer que él quería ver. Esa chica quiere selfie, que yo parezca en él. como que ella quiere. Disfruta la noche, lo anormal. Creo que el novio teme que su relación va a terminar. Se da cuenta que no necesita a alguien más. Quiere un selfie para su Instagram. Ella ya no quiere relación, alguien que diga su condición, que solamente le dé traición, para después llegar con un perdón. Quiere hangar y ser de esos babies que goza la vida y lo hacen como esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, ella quiere ver, para que el jefe se dé cuenta que aquí perdió esa mujer, perdió esa mujer. Lo que quiere es enloquecer, ser la mujer que él quería ver. Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, que yo parezca en mí, que yo parezca en mí. No tiene sueños, solamente en sus sueños nos ponemos risueños con un norteño y mi flow brasileño. Yo te juro que es bueno, ya me doy el palo, ese empate si lo desigualo. Le gusta lo honesto y lo malo, me traje un regalo. Ella ya no quiere relación, alguien que diga su condición, que solamente le dé traición, para después llegar con un perdón. Quiere hangar y ser de esos pibes que goza la vida y lo hacen como esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, ella quiere ver, ella quiere ver, para que el jefe se dé cuenta que aquí perdió esa mujer, perdió esa mujer. Lo que quiere es enloquecer, ser la mujer que él quería ver. Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, que yo parezca en mí, que yo parezca en mí. Dime todo lo que ella quiere, nada ha sido regalado. Entre más independiente, más quiero estar a su lado. Es de esas nenas, mata, es que más ella está plena la noche entera. Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, ella quiere ver, ella quiere ver, para que el jefe se dé cuenta que aquí perdió esa mujer, perdió esa mujer. Lo que quiere es enloquecer, ser la mujer que él quería ver. Esa chica quiere selfie, selfie, que yo parezca en mí, que yo parezca